If you're living with diabetes, managing blood sugar levels is a top priority. One of the most effective ways to do this is by keeping an eye on your diet, especially the types of carbohydrates you consume. While vegetables are often considered some of the healthiest foods on the planet, not all vegetables are equal when it comes to managing diabetes. Some may contain higher levels of carbohydrates or starches that can cause blood sugar levels to spike more than others. Let's explore the top 4 vegetables that you might want to approach with caution if you're trying to keep your blood sugar in check. What's fascinating is that some of these vegetables may not even seem problematic at first glance. So, grab a seat, and let's go on this surprising journey together, starting with a vegetable most people love.
Before we continue, I'd like to tell you about Diacelan, a powerful blend of 13 natural ingredients specifically designed for diabetics. Diacelan is a science-driven supplement that not only supports healthy blood sugar levels, but also enhances insulin sensitivity and promotes overall wellness. You can find it on diacelan.com. You can find the link in the description. And now, let's get back to the video.
First up, the humble potato. Whether it's mashed, baked, or fried, potatoes are a beloved staple in many diets around the world. But for those with diabetes, this vegetable can present some serious challenges. Potatoes are very high in starch, a type of carbohydrate that the body breaks down into glucose. Eating a medium-sized baked potato, which contains roughly 37 grams of carbohydrates, can cause a rapid increase in blood sugar levels. This happens because potatoes have a high glycemic index, GI. The glycemic index is a system that ranks foods based on how they affect blood sugar levels. The higher the number, the faster the food raises blood sugar. Different types of potatoes vary slightly in their impact on blood sugar, but they all tend to be on the high end of the glycemic index. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition compared different types of potatoes and their effects on blood sugar. Interestingly, boiled potatoes caused less of a spike compared to mashed or baked varieties. Even sweet potatoes, which are often touted as a healthier alternative, can raise blood sugar levels due to their high carbohydrate content, even though they rank slightly lower on the glycemic index than regular potatoes. Now, before we say goodbye to potatoes, let's not forget about one of its most beloved forms, French fries. French fries are particularly problematic because they not only contain the starchy carbohydrates of a potato, but are also deep fried in oil, adding unhealthy fats to the equation. This combination can lead to an even more dramatic spike in blood sugar, along with contributing to other health issues like weight gain and heart disease, which are already concerns for people with diabetes. Moving on, let's talk about corn. Corn is another vegetable that often gets a free pass in many healthy diets, but it's worth taking a closer look if you're managing diabetes. Corn is classified as both a vegetable and a grain, and it contains more carbohydrates than you might expect. A single ear of corn packs about 27 grams of carbohydrates, which can add up quickly if you're eating corn in different forms throughout the day, whether it's in salads, on the cob, or as cornmeal in tortillas or chips. The key problem with corn is that it has a relatively high glycemic index, especially when compared to other vegetables. When eaten in moderation, corn can be part of a healthy, balanced diet, but it's important to watch portion sizes. A study from the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics found that whole kernels of corn, like those found on a corn cob, have a lower glycemic impact compared to processed corn products like cornmeal, popcorn, or tortilla chips. That's because processed foods tend to have less fiber and more rapidly digestible carbohydrates, making them more likely to cause blood sugar spikes. Interestingly, corn is high in fiber, which can be beneficial for managing blood sugar levels because fiber slows down the digestion of carbohydrates. But the relatively high carbohydrate content of corn can still cause trouble if eaten in large quantities, so balance is the key. Corn can be sneaky, showing up in unsuspected places, from snacks to side dishes, so keep an eye out for it when meal planning. Next up are peas. which might surprise some people. Peas are often grouped with other green vegetables like broccoli and spinach, but unlike their green counterparts, peas are a starchy vegetable. A cup of peas contains around 21 grams of carbohydrates, and their glycemic index can vary depending on how they are prepared. Fresh peas have a lower glycemic index, while canned or processed peas can be more problematic for blood sugar levels. A study published in Diabetes Care highlights that peas, while being nutrient-rich, do contribute to an increase in blood sugar, especially when consumed in larger portions. This doesn't mean peas are a bad food. They do contain beneficial fiber and vitamins, but they're not the free pass some might assume. If you enjoy peas, try to keep them in moderation and balance them with non-starchy vegetables to keep your blood sugar stable. It's interesting to note that peas, like corn, are often used as a filler in many processed foods, so they can sneak their way into meals without you even realizing it. So, pay attention to labels and be mindful of hidden carbohydrates that could affect your blood sugar. And now, for the grand finale, the vegetable that many wouldn't expect to cause problems for blood sugar, butternut squash. Butternut squash is often seen as a healthy choice, loaded with nutrients like vitamins A and C. It's a popular choice for soups, roasted side dishes, and even in pasta alternatives. But what many people don't realize is that butternut squash contains a surprising amount of carbohydrates. 1 cup of cooked butternut squash has about 22 grams of carbohydrates, which can be enough to raise blood sugar levels, especially if you're having it alongside other starchy foods. The glycemic index of butternut squash is moderate, meaning it can cause a slower, but still noticeable, rise in blood sugar. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition examined how different types of squash affect blood sugar levels and found that butternut squash, while nutritious, is still something to be cautious about if you're managing diabetes. The way you prepare it matters too. Roasting it or adding sweeteners can quickly turn it from a healthy choice to something that could send your blood sugar soaring. Even when making soups, it's easy to add ingredients that could raise its glycemic load, such as cream or sugar, making it something to keep an eye on. Butternut squash may be rich in nutrients and fiber, but the carbohydrate content is high enough that if you're already eating other starchy vegetables or grains in a meal, it might be better to swap it out for something less likely to affect your blood sugar. In summary, while vegetables are typically a good choice for maintaining a healthy diet, not all of them are ideal for managing diabetes. Potatoes, corn, peas, and butternut squash are all vegetables that can raise blood sugar levels more than others. This doesn't mean you have to eliminate them entirely from your diet, but being mindful of portion sizes and preparation methods can make a huge difference in keeping blood sugar levels steady. By being aware of the impact these vegetables can have, and learning how to balance them with other low glycemic foods, you can enjoy a more stable and healthier approach to managing diabetes.